Hello, am I live? Am I live? Hello. Yep, I think we're live. This is now confirming that we are live. Good. So, welcome to the Luo English Dictionary channel. And my name is Agina, and today we want to talk about wacho kod winjo dholuo. That means we want to listen and say, listening and speaking. So this is something that we've done before, but I want to go slower so that we are able to understand what's going on, and also to look at the words, because when you look at the words, you very quite easily understand what's happening. So let us have, this is a conversation, and this is a conversation of people who, maybe two people. So I'm going to talk about it, and then we just discuss some of the issues. If you have an issue, if you are experiencing some, if you have questions, you may just type on the chat box, and I'll be able to look at the chats and answer you. So the first one is Idi Nade. Idi Nade. So AIDHI is actually pronounced as Idi. Idi Nade. And your response would be Adhi maber. Erokamano. Into. So in this case, Adhi maber doesn't really mean I'm fine, but it means I'm going on okay, you know. Then thanks is, of course, thanks is erokamano, and you is just into, might mean what about you? What about you? Into. So Adhi maber. Erokamano. Into. So I'm going on fine. Thank you. What about you? Good. So the next thing is about names. You might say Nyingi en nga. Nyingi en nga. Now if you say Nyingi en nga, that means what is your name, but you can also say Iluongi ni nga. Iluongi ni nga. So if you say Iluongi ni nga, what that means is how are you called? So Iluongi ni nga and Nyingi en nga. Two distinct things, but you can use them interchangeably. So Iluongi ni nga or Nyingi en nga. And I noticed that many people who are speaking the Luo language have a great problem pronouncing the apostrophe between the G and the A when you say nga. And I usually say, suppose you wanted to say sing. If you're singing, you know, when there are singers and someone is singing, so the singing part is what we call nga. That is a nga. So Nyingi en nga becomes what is your name. If you're called Onyango, then of course you say en Onyango. Nyinga en Onyango. Nyingi mar anyuola en nga. Nyingi mar anyuola en nga. So what is your surname? And surname or family name or clan name, because anyuola is basically your clan or your where you come from. The entire family name is anyuola. Or your dot might be I don't know what the dot is. Dot might be the, because we call dot might be the clan, I think. So nyingi mar anyuola en nga. And then you'd say nyinga mar anyuola en Otieno. So you can see that you just repeated what you've been asked, and just you see the first three, nyingi mar anyuola, and you just say nyinga mar anyuola. So nyingi mar anyuola, nyinga mar anyuola en Otieno. All you need to do is put in your name and just say nyinga mar anyuola en Otieno. And of course, you don't have to say mar anyuola. You can still say nyinga en Otieno, and that would be good enough. Nyinga en Otieno would be good enough. Good. Nyingi te en nga. Nyingi te en nga. And nyingi te en ngans, what is your full name? So what is your full name? Nyingi te en nga. Then you say nyinga te en, and then you say your full name. If your full name is Otieno Onyango, then you just say nyinga te en Otieno Onyango Otieno. Sorry. Nyinga te en Onyango Otieno. Good. And let's move on to Be in Ja Kenya. Are you Kenyan? Be in Ja Kenya. And then you say an Ja Kenya sie. An Ja Kenya sie. So you'd ask Be in Ja Kenya. If you're not from Kenya, maybe you're from Tanzania, then you'd say Be in Ja Tanzania. Then the answer would be an Ja Tanzania sie. That means I'm originally from Tanzania. So CA is just a point of saying I'm originally from that place. So an Ja Kenya sie. Good. As I said, and thank you for those who are joining us right now. If you have questions, please feel free to type them on the chat, and I'll be glad to receive the questions. And also, if you have a specific question regarding what we are talking about today, and general questions regarding the Luo language, we are here to learn. And I want to ensure that we become regular in streaming, so that we can be able to form one big community that answers a lot of questions. So let me proceed. For today, we're just reading. We are reading a long book that is a conversation between two people, and just discussing a few issues in the book. So let's move on to, do you speak Luo? And the question would be, Be iwachoga dholuo? Be iwachoga dholuo? So that means, do you speak Luo? And your answer would be awachoga dholuo. Yes, I speak Luo. Awachoga dholuo. Be iwachoga dholuo? Be iwachoga dholuo? Awachoga dholuo. Awachoga dholuo. Ne ipuonjori dholuo nadi? Ne ipuonjori dholuo nadi? How did you learn Luo? Ne ipuonjori dholuo nadi? So you'd say, if you've been watching our channel, of course, you just say, asebet ka asomo dholuo kendo ang'iyo ga Luo English Dictionary e mbui.
Now this should be ang'iyoga. There should be an apostrophe here. Okay, so you just say just a moment. Asebet ka asomo dholuo kendo ang'iyoga Luo English Dictionary e mbui. So of course online is on the web is the web of mbui, which we call mbui in Luo. Boom. So that is the first part of our Luo language, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and you can post your questions on the first part of how to just meet friends and talk about a few issues. And remember, speaking is about conversation building. So, and to build conversation, you must be able to understand what the other people are going through and also to respond to what they are talking about. So if you respond relevantly, then they will give you some more meat to deal with. But if you don't say anything that they know, then they will be quiet. So the second part is where someone is now engaging in conversation speak, and the conversation is looking at the other part of the conversation that you asked. So this person asks, ne ipuonjori dholuo nade? And you answered, asebet ka asomo dholuo kendo ang'iyoga Luo English Dictionary e mbui. Then now there's a follow-up question, and the follow-up question will be, ipuonjori dholuo nang'o? Ipuonjori dholuo nang'o? And the answer would be, apuonjora dholuo nikech aparo ni en dhok mamit. Apuonjora dholuo nikech aparo ni en dhok mamit. Please give me feedback if the sound is okay, because sometimes I talk and then maybe I'm talking to myself. Good. Isebet ka ipuonjori dholuo e kinde marom nade? This should be ipuo. Isebet ka ipuonjori dholuo e kinde marom nade? How long have you been learning? Asebet ka apuonjora kuom higa achiel. I've been learning for 1 year. Asebet ka apuonjora kuom higa achiel. Isebet kipuonjori dholuo e kinde marom nade? Asebet ka apuonjora kuom higa achiel. Asebet ka apuonjora kuom higa achiel. And then you move on to, and this is still a follow-up of the conversation. Be ihero puonjori dholuo? So that's a question, and please note my tone when I say this. Be ihero puonjori dholuo? Do you like learning the Luo language? Be ihero puonjori dholuo? Do you like learning? So your answer would now depend on whether you like or not, but in this case I thought maybe if you like, you'd say, hey, ahero malich. Hey, ahero malich. Be ihero puonjori dholuo? Hey, ahero malich. All right? Hey, ahero malich. Sami 4651. Amosi Japonj. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you for joining and for keeping me company. And I'm glad that you're watching.
If you have a suggestion, please let me know on the stream. I'll be able to read it aloud. So the third one is Inyalo wacho dhok adi. Inyalo wacho dhok adi. And this dhok, it depends on how you pronounce it. Some people would say dhok. And dhok mean Jamni. Jamni is the Luo is what? Dhok mean the cows. So you must be careful with the tone. If you say Inyalo wacho dhok adi, that would be wrong. So you say Inyalo wacho dhok adi. Inyalo wacho dhok adi. So dhok adi might mean how many languages? Dhok adi. Anyalo wacho dhok ariyo. Dho Luo kod dho Ngere. Anyalo wacho dhok ariyo. Dho Luo kod dho Ngere. So Ngere is English. So when you say I can speak two languages, one is Luo and one is English. Anyalo wacho dhok ariyo. Remember our counting video? We said that counting, when you count achiel one, achiel ariyo adek, you remember that? Let me just go back to this to see whether we have any questions being asked. And you can ask questions on the live stream, on the chat. Just ask a question and I'll be glad to answer. Oh yeah, that's good. So anyalo wacho dhok ariyo. Dho Luo kod dho Ngere. Anyalo wacho dhok ariyo. Dho Luo kod dho Ngere. So let's move on. I think it's working. I'm just checking whether we are online. And thank you. If you can say hi on the chat. I can see that many people are joining us. When you join, please say hi on the chat. I'm glad that you're passing by. En ang'o ma ihero timo mogik? En ang'o ma ihero timo mogik? En ang'o ma ihero timo mogik? And your response would be gima ahero timo mogik en buko rangi. Gima ahero timo mogik en buko rangi. So if you like swimming, of course you would say ahero goyo abal. And we already talked about videos that talk about things that you can do. So you would just say gima ahero timo mogik en, and then you'd place whatever you like doing. In ja higni adi. This is the most common one. And because many people ask how old you are. In ja higni adi. And this would link to the counting video. And I think we've done a very elaborate counting video that would help you to just say your age. If you're learning Luo for the first time, I think there are things that you really need to work on. Things like counting. Counting is basic and it's repetitive, so it is very easy to master counting, because once you master 1 through 10, you're able to link the 1 through 10 with all the other words
So for example, once you know that 1 through 10, and then you know 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, then you're able to link 5 and 1, because counting is essentially saying 50 and 1, 50 and 7, 80 and 3, you know. So your age, like in this age, this is 20 and 5. All you need to do is to say the 20 and 5, which is Piero Ario, and you say cod, Piero Ario cod abich. So that is one of the hints when you're counting. And things like age should be one of the easiest ones to learn or to talk about in a conversation. So in ja higni adi, and you say an ja higni piero ario kod abich. Then and again, time. Time is related to counting, but time is a little different. If you already speak Swahili, then the Luo shares the timing with the Swahili. But if you only speak English or any other language which is not Luo, then the timing is different. When someone asks en sa adi, and you say en sa apar gi achiel, remember apar gi achiel in Luo is 11. But if you say it's 11 o'clock, then you'll be wrong. So we took the timing system of the Swahili people, whereby 1 is moja, and moja means 7 o'clock, and 2 means 8 o'clock, and things like that. So that's also one of the tricks in the Luo language. The time, what they say in the time is not what they mean, because they say apar gachiel and they mean 5 o'clock. Kawuono en tarik adi. So kawuono en tarik adi. What's the date? Kawuono en tarik adi. And your date would be kawuono en tarik ang'wen dwe mar auchiel. Kawuono en tarik ang'wen. So in dates there is no trick. You just put the date and the month. And the good thing about the month is we don't have a specific name for January, February, March, and you know, so we just say dwe mar achiel, dwe mar ariyo, dwe mar adek, up down till dwe mar apar gi ariyo. So kawuono en tarik, like today's dwe mar achiel, so you'd say kawuono en tarik piero ariyo gi adek kod to piero ariyo gi adek dwe mar achiel. Iwuok kanye. Iwuok kanye. Where are you from? Iwuok kanye. There are two ways of asking, depending on the tone. The first one is Iwuok kanye. Iwuok kanye is the same question, but this time you're asking someone who has just arrived at the door. But Iwuok kanye is someone who you've been having a conversation with, but now you want to know more about them. So you're asking, Iwuok kanye. So my tonation, Iwuok kanye. Iwuok kanye is exactly where are you from right now? Iwuok kanye. Iwuok kanye. So Iwuok kanye is continuing the conversation. And then they will say, An awuok Kenya, or an awuok Kondele, or an awuok, whatever it is. So you'd say where you're coming from. So in Iwuok kanye, wherever you are, Iwuok kanye. And where were you born? Ne onyuoli kar ango. Ne onyuoli kar ango. When were you born? Ne onyuola gana ariyo kod apar gi aboro. Remember, Ghana is 1,000. So 2018 will just be gana ariyo kod apar gi aboro. If you're born today, for this they've just indicated the date, the year, but not the date. But if you're born today, you'd say ne onyuola
tarik piero ariyo gi adek, that is 23rd, dwe mar achiel, the first month, gana ariyo gi piero ariyo gi achiel. So 2021. I was born on 23rd of January 2021 would be ne onyuola tarik piero ariyo gi adek, so that is 23, dwe mar achiel, the first month, gana ariyo gi piero apar gachiel. Piero ariyo gachiel, sorry. And thank you for joining. If you want to say hi, you can say on the chat box. I'll be glad. Chieng nyuolni en kar ang'o. So now, remember the other one I was talking about the day, the year. Chieng nyuolni en kar ang'o. What is the date? Date. So that is dwe mar ochiko, tarik piero ariyo kod adek. Dwe mar ochiko, tarik piero ariyo kod adek. So that is the 23rd of the 9th month. And the date system is very elaborate, because we just say the first month, the second month, the third month, the fourth month, the fifth month, 6th month, 7th, 8th, 9th, 11th, the 12th month, and then we say the date. So the date inside that month would form the date. That's how we continue with the date. TG and ango. TG and ango might be different. Sometimes you say TG and ango, but other times you just say itimo teach mane. So itimo teach mane might be what job do you do. So itimo ga teach mane, what do you do? TG and ango. So TG and ango is actually asking what is your job? What job? So itimo teach mane would be what job do you do, or what is your source of income? So in this case they said tija en ndiko buge. Tija en ndiko buge. I write books. Itiyo tich machal nade. Itiyo tich machal nade. An jafwambo kod keyo. An jafwambo kod keyo. Itiyo tich machal nade. An jafwambo kod keyo. So that's a journalist, an jafwambo kod keyo. And many jobs you would just say anja puonj, anja pur, that is if you're a farmer, anja pur if you're a teacher, anja puonj if you're a carpenter, anja jagoranda. So jobs take that form. Kenya idak gi kanye. Kenya idak gi kanye. And you'd say Hadak Kisumu. I know there's a Kisumu in Tanzania, next to Sirare border, but we say Kisumu most of the time, even though it is called Kisumu. We just say, we are used to Kisumu, but you can just say Kisumu, same thing. Hadak Kisumu. I say I live in Kisumu. Hadak Kisumu. Kenya idak gi kanye. Hadak Kisumu. Isedak kae e kinde marom nade. Isedak ka e kinde marom nade. Two ways. You can say isedak kae e kinde marom nade, but you can also say isedak ka e kinde marom nade. I hope you get the difference. Isedak kae e kinde marom nade. Isedak ka e kinde marom nade. And you say, asedak ka e dweche ariyo. Asedak ka dweche ariyo. So that is dweche. Asedak ka dweche ariyo. Of course, if it's more than that, if you've stayed for a year, asedak ka higa achiel, or asedak ka higni apar, that is 10 years. Asedak ka dweche ariyo. Okay. Ji adi ma odak kodi. Ji adi ma odak kodi. Ji ang'wen. Ji ang'wen. Nyaminwa, owadwa, minwa, kod wuonwa. Ji ang'wen. Nyaminwa, owadwa, minwa, kod wuonwa. And the thing is, I'm trying to put in a lot of things in the conversation so that you understand what nyaminwa, owadwa mean. This is on the family side. So if you look at the family videos that we've done before, you'll be able to understand what does nyaminwa mean. Nyaminwa is my sister. Owadwa, my brother. Minwa is our mother. And wuonwa is our father. So, ji ang'wen. And then they're listing the four. Odiochieng ne chalo nade. Odiochiengi ne chalo nade. Odiochiengi ne chalo nade. Hey, if it's evening wherever you are, can you answer this question on the chat box? How was your evening? Odiochiengi ne chalo nade. I'm just looking at my chat box and it's very quiet. Odiochienga ne odhi maber. Odiochienga ne odhi maber. So my evening went on well. Odiochienga ne odhi maber. Okay. Odiochienga ne odhi maber. Weche dhi nade. Weche dhi nade. And this is it is not really a formal greeting. This is just a continuation of greeting by someone you've known for a while. So they're just asking, hey, how are things going on? And you'd say, maber, into weche dhi kodi nade. So, weche dhi nade. How is it going? How are things going with you? Weche dhi nade. And they would say, maber, into weche dhi kodi nade. And you, how are things going with you? You know, these are very good. You have to talk about this with someone. If you're learning the Luo language, try to talk about things like this, because these are conversation openers. Into weche dhi kodi nade, then that would open a big conversation space for you to talk. Gik moko dhi nade dala. Gik moko dhi nade dala. Gik moko dhi nade dala. So you would say gik moko dhi maber, or you'd just say maber. Gik moko dhi nade dala. Gik moko dhi maber. Be in gi mor kawuono? Be in gi mor kawuono? Are you happy? Be in gi mor kawuono? So more is happiness. Are you happy today? And kawuono is today. Be in gi mor kawuono? Hey, an kod mor. Hey, an kod mor. Yes, I'm happy. Hey, an kod mor. So yes is hey. Be ingima. Be ingima. Hey, angima. Be ingima. Hey, angima. Be kech kai. Be kech kai. Hey, kech lunya. Be kech kai. Hey, kech lunya. Okay. Now let me just check my sound. If my sound is okay, please just let me know. Because this is a new system, so sometimes the sound, yeah, I think it's going well. Good. Bekech kai. Bekech kai. Hey, kech lunya. Be anyalo penjo moko matin. Can I ask a few questions? So, be anyalo penjo moko matin. Then you say, dhi nyime. Oh, Kamba language lessons. Karibu sana ndugu yangu. You're saying word no in Luo. The word no is oyo. Oyo. Let me type it on the chat. No is oyo. Okay. So, be anyalo penjo moko matin. And you'd say, dhi nyime. Dhi nyime. In kod nyithindo adi. In kod nyithindo adi. In kod nyithindo adi. And you say, an kod yawuoyi ariyo. An kod yawuoyi ariyo. In kod nyithindo adi. An kod yawuoyi ariyo. Be inyalo miya lwedo. Be inyalo miya lwedo. Anyalo. Today we are actually so much concerned with you looking at the words and trying to read them. So as you're looking at the screen, please try to read these words so that you're like connecting your language and the writing. So sometimes you might see something, it looks so English that you say, for example, the BE is, in English it's B, but in Luo it's be. Okay, so please, when you're with me, just try to say these things aloud. If you say them aloud, you'll be able to start learning and improving on your accent. So be inyalo miya lwedo. Anyalo. Okay. Be inyalo miya gowi mar omuom. And
I think money has also changed names over time. We used to call it omwom. We used to call it, and in Tanzania they still call it sendi. And we used to call hela when we still had hela in the 60s. Those who are there, I think you could bear me witness that money has changed names. Now we say pesa. Most of the time we say pesa. Be inyalo miya gowi mar pesa? Can you lend me some money? Be inyalo miya gowi? And you'd say mos aonge kod omwom, or mos aonge kod sendi. Mos aonge kod pesa. Okay? And they've changed hands. So when you get to the Luo place, I suggest that you start by asking, what do you call money? So that way then you can replace this with the correct question, correct answer. Some people call it omwom, but when you go to other places, you'll be like, oh, omwom, again, like you're too old fashioned, you know. Doesn't matter. Ma en pesa adi. You see, now I changed it to pesa, and the other side it was omwom. So I just so that you see that they're different. Ma en pesa adi. And in other places they ask ma en omwom adi, or ma en siling adi. Ma en siling mia achiel. And this, by the way, is not real Luo, because real Luo is ma en siling piero apar achiel. But because we are talking about moving on with in the real life, we would say ma en siling mia achiel. Mia is a Swahili word for 100. So we just assimilated the word. Ma en siling mia achiel. En pesa adi dhi Nairobi. En pesa adi dhi Nairobi. En siling Ghana achiel. En siling Ghana achiel. You can see down there I wrote that en siling aluf achiel. And aluf is also a Luo word, Swahili word, sorry. So aluf and Ghana have been interchangeably used, and they'll be interchangeably used on when you're visiting a Luo language speaker's place, depending on how Swahili inclined the Luo people are. So ensiling Ghana achiel and ensiling aluf achiel are one and the same thing. So I want to stop here. I want us to stop here, and then I still have, I think, about 100 more pages. If you're interested, if you think this is interesting, you can let me know. If you want us to adjust it so that it is different, you can also let me